So we're good to go.
Ready to go?
Right there.
So we'll call the meeting of the Richland County Executive Finance Standing Committee to order on June 22nd, 2026 at 5:03. And we welcome new County Clerk Jeff Harrison, and roll call please.
Goodover?
Here.
Kramer?
Here.
Engel?
Here.
Healthy?
Here.
Thompson?
Here.
Harry? Frank? Here. Severson? And Cooey? Here.
We have the quorum. Is open meeting law compliance verified?
Yep.
And approval of the agenda. I'd like to strike item 8, discussion and possible action on transfer of the LWCF grant property to the Richland School District so that it can be reviewed first by the campus reconfiguration committee. If that's okay, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda. Motion by Schoonover, second by Welty. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the minutes of the June 9th, 2026. Oh, one more thing about tonight's meeting. In terms of the agenda, last time we approved a process for the budgeting. In our first preliminary budget, we'll look at the first week of August. So as we move through these items tonight, I'm wondering if you would flag those you would like to make sure we talk about in July, and that'll become our priority agenda for July. So we're ready for the budget meeting. Okay, so as we move through these, we'll have low flying flutes, high flutes. All right. Approval of the minutes from the June 9th meeting. Any changes or edits? Minutes say they're approved. In public comments, we have one. We welcome Sharon Schmitz.
Bad penny returns. I would like to personally thank you, this committee, the entire county board, and everyone involved in extending the agreement between the county board and EMS service to December 31st of 2028. This will give all involved continued opportunity research, develop a long-term solution for EMS services in Richland County. I would ask that an open dialogue between the county and the residents continue by sharing information. In closing, if additional time and energy is needed and or wanted, please reach out and I would be more than happy to volunteer. And thank you again.
Thank you, Sharon. Any further public comment, either in person or online? Hearing none, we'll move to items number 7, reports from the county administrator.
I only have one thing. The bike trail was groomed from Richland Center to Gotham, and Simpson's Tractor did donate a tractor for us to use to do that grooming. So we do appreciate them giving us that tractor to get the bike path done. That's all I have.
Any questions for the administrator? Hearing none, we'll move to item number 9, discussion and possible action on the comprehensive facility improvement plan.
So the County Facilities Planning Committee met this year, had several meetings, and in the end came up with a recommendation to complete certain tasks and to bond, take out 2 loans to bond to get the tasks completed. I have condensed the items that need to be done into the resolution so that you have them to review. I did get estimates from department heads, from outside entities, and it would be a max of 7 million to complete all of the tasks there. The goal then is we wouldn't have to do short-term borrowing to complete these tasks. We could start to be proactive instead of reactive, and we can get away from constantly having deferred maintenance that we need to work on. The other piece of that is they made a recommendation that committee did to build a new jail. And in the resolution also, you'll see the timeline that they put in place with the goal to occupy the new jail sheriff's department in 2030. So I'm bringing this to this committee to reviewed and if needed, send to full county board for their.
Thoughts? Questions, comments?
We need to have a motion before we discuss. And move to. I don't know what the motion would be here on the resolution.
Since the resolution number.
There's no number yet, but it would be a resolution approving a comprehensive facility improvement plan.
I move to approve a comprehensive facility.
Wait a second.
I have a second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Or aye. All opposed? Thoughts, questions?
We probably shouldn't have done that part of it. We just need a motion.
Motion in a second.
And second without, and then we will finalize it after debate, correct? That's what. Otherwise, we've approved it and there's no other reason to talk.
Well, we want to talk about it. We don't want to approve it.
We don't want to vote on it yet.
I don't want to approve it yet. Until we discuss it.
I think the motion was to approve.
You have to have a motion to then have a discussion on it.
Yep.
Yes, we had a motion.
We had the motion in a second, but we don't want to vote on it until after the discussion, correct?
Correct.
So what do we do about that we voted? We back that off or?
You can neck it up, let me pull up the exact Robert's rule.
Sorry about that. Good catch.
So we have the quickest meeting ever.
Yeah. We need it. Or else we earned it, maybe that's.
And we earned it.
Robert's rules, if you ever read it, is 1,200 pages. So
I would think it's as simple as we make a motion and step back. Pull back the motion.
Might be a reconsideration.
So the motion, yeah, so the motion is to rescind a prior vote.
I'll make it. And I was second.
So clarity of language. So you rescind.
I make a motion that we rescind the vote of the previous action for the comprehensive facility plan.
Wait a second.
And I was second.
Discussion. All in favor? So. We discussed this.
We start off.
You need a new motion. So
Yeah.
the prior motion is rescinded.
Mr. Cooey, this is yours.
Yep, I'll make the motion to discuss it, to discuss the conference.
And I'll second that motion.
So we have a motion to discuss and a second to the motion. All in favor, signify by.
No.
Don't say that.
We're doing it again.
Oh, that's right, that's right. I did it again.
It's on the floor, now we can talk.
Yep, now we can talk about it. My fault.
That's just some clarification on why we're taking 2 loans instead of 1.
If we do it all in one, if we go one loan over 5 million, then we have to spend it within 3 years. And if we don't spend it within 3 years, then we have to pay back. So we're in the same boat that we are with the tower project where we're paying back the interest. And so when we talked with Carol Worth, she recommended to take out 2 smaller loans so that we have up to 5 years to spend the money instead of getting all the money and spending it all in 3 years.
And what's the thought on the taxpayer, right? So how much is it gonna affect the taxpayer?
She said that we're having one loan come off for next year. And so the first loan won't have much of an impact, it'll be the second one that would have the,
The second one, we'd go 3 years in or whatever.
yeah, we wouldn't probably keep it out for another 3 to 4 years.
Second part of my question would be the jail. I'm not a fan of this being lumped in. That's its own entity at $50 million. I think that needs to go at its own pace and rate and be completely separate from this, is what I would suggest. Because if we're gonna borrow 40 to $50 million, that's a bigger ask than trying to remodel the building.
Have the items, Mr. Chair, have the items been prioritized? So if there's a list of items, are they all,
We have started to, the top priority has to be the court. Has to be. That area is, our staff and our public are pretty vulnerable when they come up to, court, and so that has to be our top priority. After that, we have not.
I would suggest that this list be ordered in some way to indicate either priority or cost or both. Wherever the sense of urgency lies, and I agree that the courtroom is definitely very critical. I would suggest that we order it.
I will work on that. But I do know like some of the things will go with what the contractors say. So they might come in and say, you know, it might be a priority to do the treasurer's office, but we want to do all the third floor at once. But I'll try to put that order.
And do you have estimates on price? Okay. I would like to see that too.
Do you agree with Mark that the jail should be backed out of this?
I do.
I think that's
I
consensus.
think
Okay, let's keep going.
And when you say backed up, I think it's two parallel paths, perhaps. It's not, one is lesser priority, but it's two separate initiatives and resolutions, not all in one. Right? How do you see it, Mark?
Yeah, I don't want it to get caught up in this stuff we gotta do right away. And that the jail is gonna take, you know, you're looking at, you start looking for location 27 and try to get some plans done in 28. Hopefully would start some type of construction in 29, you know, I think it's not that they wouldn't run parallel to some degree, but I think that's a big focus over here. And this is a focus that's over here. They're not, it's not that they wouldn't be happening at the same time, but I don't feel that I feel they need their own piece of paper, for lack of a better way to look at it.
one's long term and one's more immediate.
Well, yeah, this stuff that we went over earlier in the year is stuff that we need to address.
Yeah.
And that's not saying there isn't some jail things we have to address right away too. But that's the jail, you know, you talk jail and courthouse and stuff like that. That's a bigger picture that's gonna take some, I mean, when you're talking close to $50 million. You gotta do some more digging on that to see what that looks like. And how many years that's gonna be and where Pine Valley's payoff is at in that. I mean, there's a lot of things that move together with that.
The question, the flat roof replacement, what building is that
in this one.
in? Did we add that? That is.
So if we remove the jail and that is his own process and parallel process, what's your pleasure on this other stuff? Do you want more information on priorities first, or do you want?
I think if
what do
you
you-
could come up with
what's your
some sort
pleasure?
of a priority list, you know. Sure, all these things need to be done. Just, I always kind of like to tackle problems that are most needed first.
In my opinion, there's a true sense of urgency around the court rooms. And a commitment is needed to show that the county board stands behind writing those. as a priority.
And you want amounts attached?
Yes, please. I know they are.
So we have one more executive and finance meeting prior to the full county board, it's the second one of the month. I can come back to the next one and we can have all of these things that you've requested laid out. I can modify the resolution so that you can focus just on this for right now with order of priorities and with estimates next to each.
Okay,
That would be.
Mr. Chair, could we also have a resolution right now about the jail separate from all this?
guess we could, couldn't we?
Yep.
Yep. What would be,
We've got the timeline. And maybe start out with like finalized location, you gotta have that before we do any type of planning. So maybe come up with some ideas of the location, have the sheriff chime in on that too. And see what his thoughts are.
I think the first thing might just be to resolve to remove it from this comprehensive facility improvement plan. So if we could have a motion to that effect first, and then we'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Second that. Jeff, would you say that?
Motion is to remove the jail from the comprehensive plan. You move it. Sandy, you suck.
I did.
I don't see it as removing it from the comprehensive plan. I see it as having two separate resolutions supporting the comprehensive. I think the comprehensive plan includes the facility assessment and needs and all the work that the group has completed. There's two resolutions, there would be two resolutions in support of the comprehensive plan to take action on these items.
Yeah, but it's fine with me, whichever way we want, just how do we want to word it so they're separate?
Yeah.
They're separate and I don't disagree that they're the same, but they're separate so that this one here goes this way and the other one goes the other way. I will say that I'm concerned about $50 million, how we're gonna pass it. I'm extremely concerned. And I think that's gonna have to be in the front part. I get the location part of it, but can we float the loan to cover?
We also have to have some public input on that.
I 100% agree with that. A lot of public input. $50 million is a lot of money, even over 30 years or 40 years, whatever you try to borrow it out.
So we do have a motion on the floor. We have a second. The discussion, we could, in the next motion, say that this is part of the comprehensive faculty improvement plan 2, something like that, just to make sure it's on two separate things. So if we could amend the original motion to say plan 1. That might work.
Do we do one, do we make a motion for the new jail plan as one resolution and the second as the projects? Does that work?
So I see it currently, there's a motion to sever it out.
Separate it out. Then after we completed that, then we could come back with the next motion for the jail.
Yes.
That'd be the best way to structure that.
In the current motion, it's just a separate, so I'd say you need 2 additional motions after that, one for the severed comprehensive plan, and then one for the jail.
Shirley objects to the way the first motion on the table was phrased.
I do. I would amend the motion by not removing the jail from the comprehensive plan resolution, but to create 2 resolutions in support of the comprehensive. I don't know if that helped or not, but that's how I intended.
So I'm just understanding, but you're making a motion not to remove the jail from the original motion, but to, that's what I'm getting stuck.
That changes the original motion.
Yeah, the original motion was to remove it from the
I'll
context.
tell you what, why don't we just vote and destroy the first one? Just by saying no to it.
Oh, sure.
Then we'll clear the table.
Start over.
Yeah, so could you read that motion again, Jeff?
Right now, the motion that's out there is to remove the jail from the comprehensive plan. That's the
Okay.
motion as it was.
So it's been motion seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed, nay.
Nay.
Now your motion for the two.
I move to create two resolutions, one in support of the project work and a second and separate resolution in support of the jail, constructed in jail.
I'll say. There's a second. Any discussion of that? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed. Nay. Motion carries. So we're good?
Come back with two resolutions next time. And a priority list, the costs are already in there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So that, nope, that's okay. Yes, I will do a priority list.
Item 10, discussion and possible action, review of county land assets. Anything further from last time? Discuss.
Just have one, Mr. Chairman. I have the ambulance budget. Or not, I'm sorry, not ambulance, Tri-County Airport. That was one thing that was asked of me. I did not get it in time to get it into the budget. That was asked at the last meeting to bring the actual budget for the Tri-County Airport, so here it is.
Thank you. We'll give folks a minute to review that, see if there's any questions before we go back to the discussion.
This is our share then?
No, this is the whole budget,
Whole budget.
the whole budget for the year. And our share, I believe, is about $37,000.
That'd be tax levy.
Correct. 32,562.
Any questions on this? Any further thoughts on our land assets? Talked about tourism last time.
Yeah, do we? So Josh has some work done with, the campsites. As far as how to electronically, I don't know how much he's got done, but he's got some of that done because he was entertaining it before. And I think, we could have it at our public works meeting to bring that to the table and see where we're at. And then kind of look at, the fairgrounds. It already has kind of campsite set off to the right there if you're heading out towards County Shop. And then I think we need to entertain, this 300 and some acres out here. It isn't used very well as far as that aspect of it, you know what I mean? As far as camping, it's a day thing, right? Or all day thing. I don't think there's no campsites there available. Now, that's gonna cost something, right, to do anything to kind of set that up, but I think it's definitely something we should look at. And the same with, I don't know where we're at in Rockbridge, and I don't know where we're at in Viola. But the fairgrounds, to me, would be the quickest to get up and to, if nothing else, to trial. I know at Rockbridge, people are staying there now.
Yeah.
Is the Natural Bridge store still open?
No,
No,
So there's nobody collecting anything now. They're just staying.
it's just porta potties.
Yep, because the regulars hasn't worked or whatever.
Wow.
It never
It
was.
always was just it wasn't a flush system. It
Yeah,
never
it
wasn't flush.
Yeah. So, but I think to me, the fairgrounds is the easiest to get something up and rolling. To try to generate something.
Yeah.
And to try to bring some people in and to give them a place to stay when they are here. That Pine River gets a lot of use. Just the area gets a lot of use. If you look at Airbnbs and all that stuff, the amount of revenue that's coming in from that, we'd be drawing a little bit different crowd, but the crowd is close anyway.
See, but I don't think we have a staff person or staffing to do that, do we?
Well, what I'm saying is if we set up the electronic thing, the problem is you'd have to kind of monitor it to some level.
We also have to make sure that our campgrounds are in compliance with. state
With whatever's
codes.
there, but
That's kind of what happened at Rockbridge is, because you have to be so close to the water. There's only so many spots that we have.
yeah, understood. But the fairgrounds can't be much different than what the park is, Richland County. You know what I mean? I don't know for sure, but it's something we definitely need to. I ain't saying you can get it done tomorrow, but I can have Josh, look into some more of that stuff and go that route.
As I recall discussion from a prior public works meeting, there was concern about 24/7 monitoring, making sure that people were following rules and regulations
Yeah.
and things like that. But I think a broader view of it, of looking at, so what does it cost to have some technology help with some of that work? What kind of revenue would we need from there in order to offset that expense? And then what opportunities are there, maybe in discussions with tourism?
Exactly.
Are there groups that might be willing to come that might make it easier to monitor a group rather than individuals, or where are there opportunities? Because it is an underutilized facility.
I'm just not sure where the fit is within the county staff.
Yeah.
Where would this fit?
Well, parks we rolled into. Parks.
Parks
There's a
doesn't have a
fairgrounds
full-time
committee
staff.
also.
Parks doesn't have a staff person, do they?
No, we have maintenance.
Maintenance.
Does it? No,
What do we have at the fairground?
we have Lyric at 20 hours a week.
But there again, sometimes you have to spend money to make money. Do we have a tourism liaison or,
At the county?
yeah,
No. Josh reached out and talked with Marty Richards
Marty
about
Richards.
this.
Marty Richards would be the
Yeah.
connection.
I just kind of wonder how many people, actually don't know what we have at all for camping.
Well, right now, we don't have anything. So that's what they know, right? You know, the only time the fair, I mean, fair gets used, what, 2, 3 times a year at the most.
Yeah.
So. You know, and there was that work was done on that right side out there, I think, for that intention.
So when it's utilized now for the rodeo or anything, there's no charges to go along with that?
I'm on the committee, I don't know any, you know, Trish.
I think when they rent it out for their weekend rodeo, they rent everything. So then it's out of our hands. So if they do camping, it's whatever.
So
they
it's
set up.
whatever fee we charge them.
Correct, to utilize the fairgrounds.
If we were to have a discussion with Marty Richards, we could assess whether there's other opportunities perhaps with groups that might like to come in. I'm aware of other locations that have tractor rides and bicycle rides and other organizations that come through. I don't know if that's a point of, we've had any contact with organizations like that, but I know that many people like to drive our roads and fond of that, so. You know, it's one thing, is there already an opportunity that find a match for where to accommodate them? Or is it that we would creating an opportunity where someone might want to come? I'd like to have a better understanding of, are we trying to fill a need or are we trying to create a need?
Well, I know if you talk to the owners of the Airbnbs around here and stuff like that, they're booked up 2 solid years in advance. So when people are wanting to get those, they're booked solid. So I think there is a need for it. I mean, there's people that want to come here. Just making it happen.
Well, I think Marty Richards is probably their best bet
Yeah.
on showing us what to, you know, give us some ideas on what to do, what we can do. And then logistically, we can worry about the rest of it logistically if we think it's something worth pursuing. You know.
Chair, this is
Talk about this and see whether it makes sense.
Trish, do you know is Rockbridge's, they have electrical hookups there, I believe, in Rockbridge. Don't know if they're active or not.
I don't know that.
Supervisor Frank, were you gonna say something?
Yes, thank you. So I guess I would be curious if there's anybody that would be interested in contracting that space and they take care of it. We hire somebody to take care of it. They make the profit off it and we know that we'll get some base level of income. Marty Richards might have information on that. That way it takes us off of our employee base, puts it on someone else, and at least we'd be making something, but we wouldn't be fully responsible for it. Just another thought to throw in the bucket.
First big step in camping is utilities. Electrical, bathrooms. The flush,
Fairgrounds has that, along with showers.
but do they actually open up bathroom? Sure that,
During the rodeo.
no, but I mean, say, for weekend camping,
I wouldn't.
I don't know, I don't know that is. Wednesday night, because I asked.
I'll call Marty and check out, see what he thinks.
It might be worth bringing him to a meeting.
That's what I'm saying.
So, and pursue all of it. I mean, Bob's got a good point. Maybe we just generate revenue from it and not have to do anything.
Yep. I'll see what he's thinking, or how he responds.
Yeah, it'd be ideal to generate more revenue than we have expense. Because we have expense for mowing. Expense for some kind of maintenance periodically, if we could exceed that.
Al?
Yeah, I suggested, you folks talk to somebody from South County, the White Mound. It's not too far from the Richland County line, and it's a really nice park, and it's busy, and I've heard they're expanding it. So you might be able to glean some ideas from somebody in South County on how they're operating it, and Everything I hear about is it's busy all the time. I mean, I can't talk to you.
Thank you for that.
Had a meeting with the airport on Thursday, so there'll be a lot of saw coming there. It's something. I'll ask him, or maybe they can point me in the right direction. See what they got.
Thank you. Yeah.
Anything more on item 10 anybody's been thinking about? Item 11. Discussion of possible action, review of new revenue sources.
We did,
Yeah.
Pardon?
and discuss that in previous agenda items.
I wonder about that land. Because you're right, Mark, it's not used that much. If we sold it and invested it. I'm just playing it because things are gonna get tight. And not a whole lot of people use it. But that opens up some tension.
There's 300 acres, the 300 acres.
354 acres, yeah, the Ash Creek Forest.
Oh, right.
I wonder whether as a county, we're good stewards if we keep it that way with low use.
I think it's got more usage than one thing. You know what I mean? But it doesn't look like Governor Dodge, right? But because I drive by it twice a day, every day, and there's somebody there every day. Every day. At some point, when I'm going home, they're horseback riding or something, or deer hunting, of course, when it's deer hunt season or any type of hunting season, that parking lot's full. Today, somebody's out there maintaining it, spraying. And I don't know what the upper side is, because, that's a long ways from where the bottom of it is, and I don't know how much it gets used on the upper end. But the only thing you ever have fear of that, right? So that's a one-time deal. Once you're done, you'll never. We'd never be able to get something like that back. And, it might be only a couple of years of our problem, but that's consumed. That's the only, the only thing.
Nice to turn into an opportunity for revenue.
I would agree. I would much rather go down the Parks Avenue and see what we could do that way than to see it go, because like I said, once it's gone, you'll never grab onto another 300 some acres sitting there that's already just kind of where it goes.
I'd like to include that in our discussion with Marty about opportunities that perhaps we could gain from that, like there's different kinds of obstacle races and things like that, where there's locations. And maybe there's other events that we haven't even considered.
Chair, this is Bob, when you step in.
Any other?
Well, what was he saying? I had a thought about, and this was brought to me by our next generation. When we were thinking what we're gonna do with campus. But out there at Ash Creek, you have not motorized, but just regular pedal dirt bike trails. And there is a company down in Madison that would help build that track. You have people, once they know it's there, they come out and they try these tracks. They come from all over for these. And this is, like I said, not my generation. No way would you catch me out there. But, they're pedal bikes. They're not motorbikes. So they would be quiet. They wouldn't have the smell of a motor. Maybe something like that could happen out there. And then you could have like little campgrounds or something. They could stay there too.
Now, is there electricity out there? No, just land on.
No, it's Trout Street. Any other discussion on this one? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 12, review of mandatory and non-mandatory services. This was placed in your packet. We don't know the date when it was formed, nor do we know if it's fully up to date. So it's likely it needs updated. But we put it in the package so we all could have that discussion as we move forward through the budgeting process. So as of just this one, it's not completely updated. We have 9 services that are not mandated. One's the ambulance, another is animal control, a third is economic development, fourth is the fair, fifth is the 911 outlay, 6 is parks, 7 is Southwest Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission, 8 is Simons, 9 is UW Extension. There's probably more on that list.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Pine Valley's done. So this will be updated for our next package. So this was a FYI. Again, think about it. Any thoughts on this?
Well, I would say it's a good guideline. What you see in a lot of it is that you're mandated to do it, but the staffing is where you have the control. And staffing is a huge cost to most every program. So I guess when I look at where we're at, so budget wise, what do we have to cover for next year? So how we do it where I work, it's okay, this is how much you gotta cover for next year. Salaries, benefits, whatever it may be. There's some increase, that you're gonna expect on cost of certain things. And then we work to that number. Okay, so we start with that number and we work the business accordingly. Like, we don't have any control on what we sell stuff for, not where I home office, they have that control, but that's typically not what I deal with. I deal with reducing costs at the plant to cover what's going to take to run the operation for the next year. And I think, to me, that's the way we need to start every year. So Trish needs to have a pretty good idea of what she's got to cover for the next year, and then you go into that saying, this is how I'm going to start my budget. We need to come up with $1 million, or we need to come up with, whatever that number is. And then you work backwards. And this right here, I mean, everything I read through this, and this document was created because extensions in there, or not so much extension, but the campus is in there and the food service at the campus. So it's probably was created 4 or 5 years ago. Some of that stuff isn't relevant anymore, but to me, that's the best way to start. So you got to kind of know what you got to do, then you can work to that. Then, unfortunately, the majority of the money spent in a couple areas, and that's the other ones. You'll get to the point where they just don't have any more paper clips. I mean, you took their paper clips away and that's all they got. They just don't have any left. We used to fight with that with extension all the time because the budget was $160,000. You go in there and try to take 10% of that away. Well, you got to cut labor to take care of the 10%, so, I mean, to me, this is good. This is what we're required to do. You got to know what you're required to do. But there's got to be some things that don't move the needle very much, but may cause a lot of headache to get rid of. So, I mean, this is good, but it really does a pretty good job of defining, yes, you have to do it, but how you run it is how you run. You know what I mean? If you want to run it with 3 extra people, then you got to figure out how to pay for it, or run it within your means, so. I think it's good, but it's just giving you, it comes back down on us and how we manage the labor we have. What it comes down to.
There's also, programs in Health and Human Services that are matched or reimbursed other state or other organizations or entities. So sometimes it's difficult to understand what is funded by Richland County tax levy versus others. And if there's a way to break some of that down a little bit more, and I don't know if it's necessary at our level or to know that, but is that broken down somewhere so that it's really clear the budgets are prepared?
I think department heads know that information. I think where it would get tough is if we say like across the street, we're just gonna eliminate the mental health. That would get tough because they have base county allocation that they use to cover that. They have the mental health block grant, they have the substance abuse block grant. So you pull that out, you still have those funds and then it's redirecting them, but yet you don't have a clinic, you gotta contract with somebody else to provide some of those services because we still have that obligation to provide to a certain level. So it's not easy.
My concern is that if we were to go about uninformed and making those kinds of decisions ourselves, rather than relying upon the department heads and the experts, we could create crises that would actually cost more than if we had programs in place. To avoid doing that type of decision.
I would agree, I agree 100% with that. You just can't go and say, well, it's not mandated, we're not gonna do it. Well, it's tied. A lot of that stuff is so just like you said, so interwoven. That, yeah, it may not be, but this does this and this pays for that and this, it gets pretty intricate in there. It's not just as easy as saying, well, I don't do this. Sometimes you wish it was, but it just isn't.
Any other thoughts?
Well, I thought even on some of the programs that we have that are mandated, there's usually like a conference or a convention or something that goes on, a training conference. Instead of having, so many people go, cut that down to maybe, like say the 5 go, cut it down to maybe 2 or 3. That saves your expense on your mileage, your food, your lodging. So even in these mandated programs, there are those type of training things. Sometimes they're right here, which is nice, but sometimes, they're up in like Green Bay or down in Madison and you don't need the whole office to go. Excuse me.
So on executive and finance, we have 5 members, and this will be our first time through. So that's some of the reason why we're adding all this stuff to the agenda, so we have all the information we need. Anything more on this? Hearing none. Correspondence? Any? No correspondence? Future agenda items. August 11th, we begin the first budget. July, what would you like to talk about?
Well, I'm gonna try to find some information about the parks and stuff. Since I'm talking with Sauk County on Thursday, hopefully I can get someone to talk to anyway, so I'll try to come up with.
And I'll talk with Marty this week, and if it makes sense, ask him to come. So we get a full discussion.
I think that's good for next month's meeting, at least one of them, try to get Marty and kind of throw some stuff out there so we can see what.
Consider it done.
I would like to have discussion on when we have meetings that have a large number of people, like how we can accommodate that in a safe way and in a way that people can be heard and still be able to conduct business.
So we used to go to the bowling alley for
Yeah, here's the.
bowling, basically, during COVID.
Especially with the big ones.
Especially, yeah, when you got, it gets pretty tight in here.
Other items.
And also, we went to the community center once when we had the computer hacking issue. That that was nice too. Everybody had a place to sit. We were all up front on display. But I mean, it worked out great. So there's two options for that, Brad, on weekend.
We initiated a meeting with the mayor and Ryan Carnes, the president, for monthly meetings. Coming up, so we'll report back on that as well. But we probably won't have one until next month, first one. Agenda will be set. Any other future? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Kramer, second by Coons. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Didn't ask the other question. What was the second?
I emailed it to the White Mountain County Park website, see.
Sorry about my mistake.
No, that's okay. Anyway, don't
What's
forget.
got going